got some really targeted goals in a lot of these areas, but they are driven in part by the staff getting together and figuring out some new workflows on a couple of our business lines, and some staffing changes that we're hoping to implement next year. So I'm not going to get more specific exactly on some of these numbers right now, although at the executive committee next Friday, if you hold my feet to it, I'll share with you what we're thinking. But we're going to achieve some big numbers here, I think, and I think we're going to be able to help over 200 families buy homes next year, and that'll be a really tremendous amount of assistance and folks taking that step to a brighter future. We're going to be part of that. Also, in terms of 2016, as I mentioned earlier, our board of directors is participating in an excellence in governance program. That's a really exciting opportunity for them to think about what they do and what it means for the governance of the organization from a fiscal perspective, from a governance perspective, from a programmatic perspective. There's a core team of really half our board that's been talking about this and developing some plans, and they've just gone public with our peers around the nation in terms of what they're trying to do in this coming year. There's a whole to-do list that they've put together, but I just wanted to highlight that governance focus is going to be on sustaining resources, including the development of a resource development committee in the first quarter of next year, strategic thinking, which is going to be implemented by actually alternating our board meeting schedule to have one meeting, a business-focused meeting, and the next month's meeting being a board development, educational experience, and kind of deep discussion session on the challenges facing our community and the ways that we and our partners might respond. Intentional board practices, just being more disciplined as an organization, and board engagement, and that was how I started our conversation today, talking about engagement. We want to have each member of our board of directors not only have a basic understanding of the core critical role that they play in terms of being a governing member of the corporation, but also have, based on their own skills and interests, a special mission as it relates to the organization that's going to leverage their particular talents to the advancement of our programming and the community as a whole. And so look forward for some more news on that down the line. We expect that our board of directors, with time, will become the most desired board in the community to serve on, and we'll have to fight folks off who want to get on the board because it's just going to be that enriching and fun to be a part of the Naval Works Green Bay Board of Directors. We're also going to be developing a financial capabilities program to help families build their money management and financial planning skills. This, it has grown out of some national trends we've seen in terms of people needing to get, more deep dives into how money works, how budgeting works, how that sort of stuff should go. We're seeing families approach us who just don't have some of the skills that, that our parents might have had or our grandparents certainly had. And we've got to figure that out and work with them. Also, this particular implementation for us is directly related to a question that one of our board members asked at a meeting a couple of years ago as we were looking at our growing portfolio of affordable rental housing for families of modest means. He was saying, well, are we going to do anything other than just house these folks? What are we going to do beyond just putting a roof over their heads? Don't we have some role to play in their lives beyond that? And as a result of that, that really stuck with us, and particularly with Scott, our operations manager, who's been thinking about this issue pretty hard over the last year and a half or so. And we've just begun a pilot program now with the tenants in our rental program. Scott, we have 32 families that expressed an interest in signing up for that. Yeah, okay. And we want to grow that across the portfolio with time, but those families are going to have an experience where we're going to look at their credit, we're going to look at their savings, we're going to look at the budgeting that they do, and with time help them significantly build their capabilities as it relates to financial management and ultimately help make them more self-sufficient someday so that they won't qualify for the programs that we're offering or that some of the other social service partners that we've got in the community are offering. and that would be a great thing. So stay tuned for much more news on that down the line. Another hallmark of 2016 is going to be an increasing use of metrics and benchmarks in decision-making at all levels. A continued cultural shift to a volunteer-focused organization. We've actually had people competing for volunteer roles, and it used to be if you had a pulse and looked at our building for too long, we would recruit you, and now you actually have to express an interest and then demonstrate some capability of doing what it is that you're interested in doing, which is wonderful. And to that end, I think it's been really driven by Sue Primo on our staff and by our AmeriCorps members. Gina Jury, who was our AmeriCorps volunteer last year, and our current volunteers, Alex and Teresa. If you could just stand up and be recognized here, I really appreciate that. And we'll continue to grow successful lines of business and foster partnerships. And again, we're going to launch that farm rate project.